Joelicious
Kitchen. Yeah, Joe.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Joelicious Kitchen. Today, we're gonna make beer stew. That's right, beer stew. Not beef stew, beer stew. Why beer stew? Beef stew with beer. As easy as that. Why? Because we are at Joelicious Kitchen. So for beer stew, we will need 3 pounds of potatoes. I cut them, cleaned them, and cut them in smaller size pieces. Poured some water over them so that they don't go dark on me while we're making the dish. We will need 2 pounds of beef, but you can also use any other meat. Pork works as well. Chopped medium to smaller pieces. 2 carrots, 1 per recipe. Remember, we're doing 1 recipe with beer, 1 without. So 2 carrots, shredded on medium size grater. Grated on a medium size grater. 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. That would be 2 tablespoons per recipe. You can also use fresh tomatoes versus this. Consider 1 to 2, depending on the size, tomatoes per recipe. 2 medium-sized onions, chopped. 1 per recipe. Chicken broth, or you can use water. If you don't have any broth on hand, use that. Pepper and salt. Olive oil. And of course, some superfine beer. Currently, Cavalier Brewing is in the works, working on 2 more brews, 3 more brews actually. That's why we're using the store-bought beer, famous brand, but you can use any beer of your choice. And that's about it. Let's move to the stove. So we're gonna start by turning the stove on and putting 2 pots on the stove. One's larger for regular recipe and smaller for the beer, because this time we want to experiment with the beer and we're gonna make it smaller portion just to make sure everything comes out right. So start the fire, heat it up a little bit, put some olive oil, drizzle generously. After that, we're gonna put 2/3 of the beef in the larger pot. And 1/3 to the smaller. We're gonna brown the beef on all sides. Increase the heat for right now. While the beef is browning, we're gonna open the beer and look. I found a bottle that has a label upside down. There is a reason why. That means it needs to go bottom up. Cheers and beers. As a vegetarian version of this recipe, you can use, instead of beef, instead of any meat, you can use mushrooms. Mushrooms, any mushrooms of your choice, sliced. And instead of broth, use veggie broth or water. Once the beef is brown, we're going to add onions, 1/3 here, 2/3 here. Increase the heat. Next, we're going to add carrots. Same proportions. Stir it again. Next, we're going to take the tomato paste and add it accordingly. Make sure tomato paste blends in with the onion and meat mixture. Then we're going to lower the heat to medium. And now it's time to add pepper and salt. After that, we're going to stir each pot and let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. After about 10 minutes, we're going to take potatoes and throw them in the pots. 2/3 in the large pot and 1/3 in the smaller. After that, we're going to reduce heat fill the large pot with broth. The liquid should barely cover potatoes. And of course, we're going to fill the other one with beer. As it turns out, 1 bottle is enough. The heat is on low. I'm going to cover. The trick of these potatoes is to not bother, not stir them until they're cooked. So we're going to leave it for up to an hour. We're going to keep checking every 20 to 30 minutes. Once the potatoes are done, the dish is done. So see you guys in a little bit. All right, folks, after about an hour, beer stew is ready. Now we're gonna try it and see for ourselves which one is better, beer or non-beer. So the one on the left right here is gonna be the beer recipe, and non-beer is right here on the right. Let's start with the beer. So the main rule for this recipe was not to stir the stew for the entire process of cooking. Now is the time to stir it. The kitchen is filled with Joelicious smell. All right, beer first. I smell beer. There's a slight taste of beer, which I like, which makes it very distinct. No smell of beer. Regular stew. Other than the smell of beer and the slight hint of beer in this recipe, there's no difference. I give this one a 7 and this one a 7. They're both equally good and Joelicious. Folks, today we cooked beer stew, and a week from now we'll be cooking something else. Something you're gonna like, something you're gonna want to make yourself at your kitchen. Joelicious Kitchen is in the house. Stay tuned.
Kitchen. Yeah, Joe.